welcome to the Cost of Coaching. We're here at South Grand Prairie with a good buddy of ours, Coach Bennett. Coach Bennett, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for setting out this time. Now, Coach Bennett, what I like to do in these interviews is I like to take a step back. I like to pull the curtain back and let's go back in the day, as my grandma would say. Let's take it back in the day, right? So I heard, a little birdie told me that back in high school, not only were you a star athlete, but you were, I believe you were a star quarterback. They said you were the player of the year quarterback?
Absolutely.
Come on, tell me about this. Hold up.
I had some skills. Growing up in a small country town, we played everything. I love basketball,
right,
and I played football.
Right.
And I just happened to have a pretty strong arm. I could throw the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
I was a pretty good leader.
And
I was able to put up some pretty good numbers and lead my team to a state championship.
Wow.
Rosebank.
Now, this segment's called The Cost of Coaching. So I want to take it, when did you know you wanted to be a coach?
So when I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to be a coach.
Wow.
So going to college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. If I couldn't be a professional athlete, that's the dream of most high school kids. If I couldn't be a professional athlete, then I wanted to go into the coaching.
Right. So did you know basketball or football? Or did it matter at that time?
I've always loved basketball. Basketball has always been my passion, but I was a really good football player.
Yeah.
So I would have preferred playing college basketball, but I had more opportunity on the football side.
Right.
And so that's why I chose that path.
So the passion was basketball. Yeah. The passion was there. So let's talk about South Grand Prairie 2009. It's when you got the job, right?
Yes, sir.
I read a book, and they said one of the most important things a new coach could do, is going to be his first hire. So tell me a little bit about who that first hire was for you.
Man, when I took this job, I knew that I had to have a great staff, and I had to have a right-hand man that was going to help me turn this program around.
Right.
And so my first hire was a guy named Brandon Gilbert. He was a guy that I didn't know personally. I met him through another friend in the coaching profession.
Okay.
And that's what we do. You rely on others,
right,
friends that can help you out and point you toward other people that are really talented,
right,
coaches. And so I had a friend named Terrence McLeod, who's now over at Legacy right now, that pointed me towards Coach Gilbert. He and I met at Texas Roadhouse over out 20.
And
I fed him a good meal. Got a chance to talk to him. Hey, he probably had a steak. He probably had a steak on me that day.
Okay.
But I fed him a good meal. We had great conversation, and I knew after talking to him shortly that he was going to be the guy that I need to bring here to South Grand Prairie.
Okay. Well, you know what? I spoke with Coach Gilbert the other day. He's now at Troy, right? Spoke to Coach Gilbert. I was like, Coach Gilbert, tell me about those times, 2009, when you guys got together and linked up. He's like, well, I was on the defense, he was on the offense, and he's like, Coach. I asked him to give me one word about Coach. He's like, Coach is so loyal. And I was like, I need one word. He just rambled a couple more words. He's like, man, he's so dedicated. He's just always there. He's like so dependent. He's like, any assistant coach that coaches for him, even now, he's like, they want to do over and above for you. So how does that make you feel to know that you're having that type of impact on a guy who's coaching college now?
It means a lot to me, because when I hire my staff, I always tell them that my job is to help them become better.
Right.
And I know the majority of them want to be head coaches. And so I do everything I can to help them grow as coaches, and I want to put them in positions so that they can coach kids. I don't want to give them a clipboard and have them do stats. I want them to coach kids.
Right.
We coach kids from freshman level all the way up to the varsity level. Everybody's a part of this program. Everybody coaches. Everybody disciplines. And so when you do that, you feel like you are a part of the program.
Right.
And that's always my goal, and I think that's the best way to help guys grow.
And that's awesome, because that's one thing he said. He said, you know what, Coach Bennett let me coach. It wasn't a, hey, I'm in charge. He said the only time you pulled the head coaching card on him, see, I got him. The only time you pulled the head coaching card on him was you guys had to go and find some the jerseys. They were in a dark corner or somewhere they were dirty. He was like, you said, hey, Coach Gilbert, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and handle that. I ain't gonna deal with all of that. You remember that?
I think it's good to give. It's good to give responsibility. You put that particular day. It was good for me to put him in charge of getting those uniforms. They were in such bad shape.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So, again, the segment's called "The Cost of Coaching." So, one of the things I like to ask all of our coaches, I like to say, you got to pay the cost to be the boss, right? So, what are some of those costs that you have to pay, or that it actually costs you to coach?
Well, I think you have to be extremely patient. Before I became a head coach, I was a varsity assistant for 8 years.
At Summit, right?
At Summit High School. Sometimes people want to go straight to the top, but I think it's very good for you to, like, I started out in the middle school. I coached in the middle schools. That helps you grow. I was a varsity assistant for 8 years. I put in a lot of work, a lot of studying, but you have to really work hard to put yourself in a position to be able to run a program.
Right.
And so I think it's the work behind the scenes that nobody sees.
Right. And that's also, because what it costs also, from what I've imagined and what I've seen just in my little time, is family time as well.
Yeah, I think the thing that I've always tried to do is have a balance between coaching and family.
Right.
And I tell my assistant coaches that now, and I've told them that in the past. We're going to work really, really hard here.
Yeah.
We're gonna put our best foot forward. We're going to work hard, but we also have to understand the importance of having a balance with your family at home.
Right.
You have a wife at home, you have kids at home. You can't just put them off to the side and not spend time with them and not be a part of that whole process of your family growing.
Right.
And so I've always tried to have balance in that area.
Right. We have a relationship off the court, obviously personal relationship, and I spoke with Irma the other day. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
19 years.
19 years.
19 years. She told me, she was like, you know what? It's easy for me to support him because he's walking in his passion. He's doing his purpose. He's walking in his purpose. He's like, it's awesome to just see him walking in his purpose. And she also mentioned the fact that what you're doing has a generational impact. And what I mean by that is it's not just basketball. You're raising men, right? You're raising men who are going to become fathers, who are going to become, leaders in our community. Basketball coaches, you have a couple who are coaching basketball now, right?
Right.
So it's just that fact. And I was just really eye-opening for me. It was like, and me knowing your wife is like, she's a team mom. She's 100% on board. Like, I don't think half the coaches that I've spoken to have that support system at home like you have, because your wife is. I tell you, she's teen mom for the younger kids. She's there.
God put a woman in my life that's perfect for me. She's perfect for my family. I think when you are a coach, there's a lot of requirements away from home. And sometimes you're gone from home a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to have somebody in your household that can keep your house in order.
Yes.
And that's exactly what she does. She keeps our household in order. She keeps me in order. She keeps our kids in order. And she's my number one fan.
Yeah.
Whenever we have an event, a game, or a meeting, she's always going to be there to support me.
Yeah.
And I feel really blessed to have such a special woman in my life that has helped me have the success that I've had. Because I didn't do it by myself.
Right.
It's a partnership, and I appreciate everything that she's done for me.
And that's a huge partnership, because, like I said, I mean, there's some days you're going to miss Boogie's baseball game when he's 3 years old, and mom's at home like, what do you mean you're going to miss it? Because you got to go scout another team. Or, it's just all the things that go behind coaching that a lot of people don't see or don't recognize or realize. So it's having that support system at home is huge. So, Coach, let's transition. Let's transition to you guys. I like to say you fly under the radar. You've been here for, 12 years? When is the last time, can you tell me this, when's the last time you didn't make the playoffs?
My first year here, we missed out.
So you tell me 11 straight years.
It's been 11 straight years we've been in the playoffs.
Now let's paint a picture here real quick. Let's keep it real, as the kids would say, right? So keeping it real is South Grand Prairie. I don't think you guys get a lot of transfers. You don't have a lot of guys knocking on your door. You don't have 5-star athletes just coming through the door every year. Right. Is that safe to say? My assumption is correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so what that's telling me is you getting it out the mud. And when I say getting it out the mud, you're developing your team, because you, like you said, 11 straight years in the playoffs. right? And you're pretty much working through your feeder schools. Right? So you're taking your feeder schools, those athletes, you're getting out of your feeder schools and developing a team that has constantly in the playoffs, this year undefeated, but it seems like, a lot of people, I don't know if I can say sexy. Can I say sexy on the air? That's not sexy enough for, a lot of the guys or the media here in the Metroplex. Can you talk about that, or do you like flying under the radar? What's you guys' mentality?
Well, we've had a different philosophy here than some other programs. You got to have good players to win, but we feel like our feeder system is the best way to build our program. Right. And so we work really hard with creating relationships with all the kids in our feeders. And we let them know from day one that we want them to be a part of South Bend Prairie.
Right.
And so we've gotten those kids here. We work really hard in our player development. We work hard to develop them in the classroom, on the basketball court, in the weight room. We try to lock in a lot of different areas to help them to grow.
Right.
And we've had a lot of success with that. Like you said, probably not the sexiest way.
I don't know if you can say that.
Maybe a bad word for me to use. I only use it because you use it. It might not be the most popular way to run a program now with so much movement going on.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of success with that. And I think that's the way we have to carry ourselves. We got to make sure we take care of the kids we have in our program, and we got to coach them up. We got to get them better, and then we got to get them ready to go compete against other big-time programs in our area.
Right. And speaking of other big-time programs in the area, this year alone, there's been 5 programs here in the city, the Metroplex, that have been nationally ranked in the top 25. You guys were one as well. With all the talent, everything going on here in Dallas right now, what do you think? What's happening here in Dallas? Is it in the water? What's going on here in Dallas right now? Because it's crazy.
Well, I think people used to talk so much about football in the state of Texas. We're known as a football state.
Right.
So many great football players coming out of the Metroplex. I think we still have that, but basketball has come onto the scene, and I think that comes from a lot of people in the area that work really hard with developing our kids in basketball. And there's so many leagues starting out with our youth at an early age.
Right.
I think the facilities in the area, people have put a lot of money into facilities to keep kids in gyms, keep balls in their hands, and I think that has really helped our kids in development. And I think the Metroplex is one of the best. If you're looking for talent, it's one of the best places to find talent in the country.
Absolutely. I've had some college coaches reach out. They're trying to get a pipeline here. Trying to get a pipeline in Dallas specifically, because like I said, having 5 nationally ranked teams, this ain't at the same time, but having 5 nationally ranked teams in the same city, that's unheard of. Like, you may be the same state. Maybe you might catch Florida or Texas or Georgia or California at one time have 5 teams in a state, but these are 5 teams in a city. I keep saying it because this is blowing my mind when I figured that out.
I think kids and parents also could understand that. Like you don't have to take your kid outside the state to go big and get exposure.
Right.
Like it's really helped with exposure in the DFW. If you can play, you will be seen. People will find you, and you can have a great opportunity to do big things with basketball.
That's a great point. You don't have to go to the Floridas or the Californias to get that exposure anymore. Because right now, Dallas is, in my opinion, Dallas is a hotbed. Dallas is the place right now when it comes to high school basketball. So, Coach, let's talk about how the game has changed. You've been, obviously, last 11 years in the playoffs. Have you seen the game change as far as the X's and O's of basketball in high school? Has that changed any, or has that stayed pretty consistent?
As far as the X's and O's, that doesn't change very much. But the style of play has changed in a major way. And I think the change with that is, in college level, NBA level, you have the shot clock. So the game is a lot faster, I think, today.
Right.
I'm hoping we can one day get a shot clock in high school basketball.
I was about to ask you pro shot clock?
Man, we need one. We need one really bad because people will sit on the ball and hold it and slow the game down. I think that takes away from the joy of the game when it's played so slow. But I think the pace of the game has really changed, and I think the style of play, and it's the three-point line, has changed the game in a major way. I think back in the day it was dribble that sucker up, you throw it inside, and you still do that some, but you pound it inside, and you try to get it to the big guys, and you try to get shots close to the rim with your bigs. Now it's more early offense. It's get that thing off the rim, Let's get it down to the other end as fast as we can, and let's find the best, quickest shot that we can find.
Right.
And that's what's different about the game, the
Wow.
pace of it, and some of the shots that are being taken. Back in the day, I would look at shots that we took this year as bad shots.
Yeah.
But you kind of adjust as a coach. You have to make a change.
Right.
And you play with how the game's being played now.
Right. Now it's getting as many shots as you can up and letting those percentages fall. Huh?
That's the name of the game. It's possessions. We track possessions. We're trying to get 60 to 65 possessions a game, offensively.
Right.
And so that means you got to be moving.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen if you're walking the ball up the court.
Right.
Like you're trying to get it off the rim, and if you can't fast break, then you're still trying to get into your offense fast.
Yeah.
Move your body fast and get shots up to the rim as quick as you can.
Wow. So, Coach, anybody who's seen you guys play know that you guys play defense. When I say you play defense, obviously everybody plays defense, but you got your guys look like, okay, I'm playing some defense today. Like they're foaming at the mouth to play defense, and that's rare to see when most of these, most kids, everybody has a trainer, everybody does AAU, and it's about getting a mixtape. Yeah, I ain't seen too many mixtapes on defense. Right? Have you seen anybody seen any?
Hey, it's not sexy on defense. I'm gonna use
Word
that word
of the day.
again. Hey,
it's your anniversary. You can use it. 19 years.
Hey, usually people are more about offense.
Right.
Like they want to score, they want to shoot. But our philosophy at South Grand Prairie is like offense will come and go. There are gonna be some nights where the ball just doesn't go in.
Right.
And when it doesn't go in, if you are a great defensive team, then you're gonna always be in basketball games. And so we tell our guys here every single day that we put defense before offense. And kids don't always want to hear that,
right.
But that's what we do. This year we were a really good defensive team this season. Coach Thomas, Stephen Thomas was my defensive coordinator. He's my defensive coordinator. Man, he did a good job of organizing our guys, teaching defense daily, and keeping those guys motivated and locked in to want to go play defense. Because sometimes guys don't want to play it.
No, absolutely. That's one of the hardest things to get a kid to commit to do is play defense, to step up on help side defense, take a charge. So I commend you and your staff on that because just watching your team, they play defense.
Absolutely.
If you're doing a scouting report on them, it's like, okay, all right, well, yeah, they're good. But they're going to play defense. Y'all better be ready because they're going to play deep.
Well, we just we feel like stopping people provides opportunity to go score on the other end.
Right.
So if you can make people miss, box them out, and rebound it, now you create more opportunity to go score.
Right.
We don't want to trade baskets. If
Right.
you're trading baskets, then you're slowing yourself down.
Yep.
So we want to get stops, go score, or we want to press you or trap you and turn you over so we can go get some of them easy transition baskets.
Okay.
And that's kind of how the game is played today.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna peel a scab back here, Coach. So don't be mad at me. Ain't no more sexy happening no more. Right. You guys were undefeated this year. Wonderful season. Recently lost in the playoffs to Richardson. Can you tell me about that process? Tell me a little bit about the game and also the recovery behind the game, because it's like talk to several coaches when you lose it hurts.
Absolutely, man. We felt like in Region 1, like we were one of the better teams in Region 1. We really felt like it was going to be us or Richardson that wins the region and goes on to the state semifinal.
Right.
And we didn't play our best basketball.
Yeah.
Didn't play our best basketball. We showed up. We weren't locked in like we needed to be. We didn't make the plays on that night, and we were outworked. And that's a painful process. That's a painful process for as a coach.
Yeah.
Because you never, you don't want to end your season. You never want to end your season without winning a state championship. But
Right.
that's not how you want to end your season. You want to end your season on your best,
Right.
playing your best.
Right.
And so when you lose games like that, man, it as head coaches, you go into depression for a little while.
Yeah.
It hurts. And so
Keep it real.
Yeah,
For real.
Yeah, you have seniors that you never are going to coach again.
Right.
They're done. That team that you put together for that season will never be together again.
Right.
And so you create memories over the course of the season, but you never want to see it end. And so it takes a lot of time for a coach to be able to overcome the exit from the season.
Yeah.
And so I'm still going through that process right now. I'm still licking my wounds a little bit, but I'll recover. And it won't be long when we get back from spring break. It's starting to put another one together.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't start when the season starts. The process starts now with putting the next group together.
Right.
That can help you go out and be successful.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Coach, give me three qualities that a player needs to have to play for you.
The way that I sum it up is I always tell our kids, you play hard, play smart, play together. Okay. Number one, we feel like playing hard is a skill. Okay,
Nice.
you got to play hard. So every day when you show up to the gym, you show up to the classroom, you show up to the weight room, you have to be ready to give your best effort.
Wow.
And we tell kids all the time, if you don't want to do that here, you're gonna be unhappy. You're gonna be unhappy if you're not willing to give us your best effort and play hard and give your best. So we want guys to be able to play hard. We want to be able to lock in mentally and physically on a day-to-day basis.
Wow.
So we want to train your mind and your body to be mentally and physically in shape. We want you to play smart. If you can't think the game, then you won't be able to play like you want to play on the basketball court. So we want you to know what your assignments are, offensively and defensively. We want you to watch a ton of tape and video. We want you to study the game so that you can improve your IQ.
Right.
Play hard, play smart, and my last thing is that you have to play together. We don't want selfish players. Now, sometimes kids want to be selfish, and that's the process that we have to work through so that we can get what we want to get. But we want them to love one another. We want them to be accountable to one another. We want them to work for one another, and we want them to celebrate their teammates' success. And if you care about the people that you're playing with, you will have great chemistry, and you will win a bunch of games.
Wow.
So play hard, play smart, play together.
Play hard, play smart, play together. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Coach, wrapping it up here, you had the opportunity to coach one of your sons, high school, still coaching him. But now the opportunity is presenting itself. There may be two that you're going to be coaching at the same time. Tell me a little bit about how you're able to wear the dad hat and the coach hat.
Yeah, it's taken me some time to have those two hats.
Yeah.
And I've relied on some other guys that have coached their kids. I asked them a lot of questions on how they deal with that.
Yeah.
And so I'm a demanding coach to my sons.
Absolutely.
To my sons, I'm very demanding. But once we leave the court and we get in the car, I try to talk about basketball as less as possible. I try to be dad in the car on the ride home. I try to be dad at home.
Yeah.
And I do my best. If they ask me something about basketball, then I'm going to answer the question.
Right.
Or we're going to discuss it. And there are certain times where, I may overstep my boundaries because some things you got to go over.
Right.
But I try to be coach at school, on the court, and I try to be dad in the car and at home. And I think that's really helped with the relationship with my kids.
Right.
And I'm going to continue to try to get better at that.
I keep hearing the try, because it is a try. If we're keeping it real, it is a try, right? Because even though you're a coach, you still, even in your sons out there, you're a parent as well. So you see everything your son does. You may not see everything that Johnny does, but as a dad, you're seeing your son, right? So, and you're the coach too. So it's like no, you're taking a false step. Stop taking that false step. Just go. Yeah. So it's just having that thing. So it's hard as a dad and a coach. But one thing also I want to say it's hard as the kid too, because
right.
The kid doesn't have an outlet. Like if he's not your son, he could go home and be like, "Oh, Dad, man, Coach is whack. Coach told me to do this, and Coach is telling me to do that." And sometimes they just need to vent it out.
Right.
Your kids can't vent that out because Coach, you whack. No, I'm still your daddy, boy. You better hold up.
Yeah, they have nobody they can go home to and to complain to, because my wife is usually on my side.
Right.
And so it is tough on him. It's tough on both the boys. But what I try to do is let them know that I'm always proud of them.
Right.
I love them. All I'm going to try to do is to help you be as good as you can be.
Absolutely.
On a day-to-day basis. And so, brother, I when I present information to you, try to absorb it and listen to what I'm saying, sometimes not how I say it.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Well, Coach Bennett, I want to thank you for your time, man. You've been just sharing so much gems with us. I appreciate it. I want you guys to get a little more love here in the Metroplex. So I'm not saying that they not getting any love, but let's give them a little more love, because Coach Bennett, like I said, 11 years in a row in the playoffs, and he's 5-star athletes. It's not knocking at his door, so he's getting it out the mud. So, Coach Bennett, again, thank you for joining the Cost of Coaching. I'm super excited for this upcoming year, because you're one of your sons, man. I really have a special place in my heart for him, so I'm excited to see how they do. And again, just thank you so much for your time, man.
I appreciate you guys taking time to come out to South Prairie High School to help us get our program out to the community.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing a special thing. We appreciate it. And anything that I can do to help you moving forward, let me know, and I'll be there for you.
Well, let me get your diet, Coach, because you look like you can still go. You talking about you can throw a ball. You said, I need to get on your diet program. What's up?
I don't know if I can help you with that, man. The whole eating part, I don't know if I can help you with that.
Right. Well, all right, man, Coach. Again, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure, man. We appreciate you. We'll
Thank
see
you.
y'all soon.
Yes, sir.